Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. How are we doing? I'm back again, apparently. We had a lovely 45-minute chat this morning, and now I'm chatting to you again because the man himself, Mr. Fabrizio Romano, has given us an actual, genuine update on Jadon Sancho to Manchester United. The transfer that we all want to happen, the transfer that I don't think is going to happen before the Euros, but a transfer that is moving in the right direction. Let's get straight to the news. Where are you watching this from? You know how the drill goes. Let me know in the comments below. But let's talk straight away about this update. Not for the Manchester Evening News. That's for after. From Fabrizio Romano. Let's talk about it. Manchester United have reached an agreement with Jadon Sancho's camp on personal terms until 2026. Jadon is not creating any problem. Negotiations are now starting with Borussia Dortmund. 95 million euros is the price. No agreement yet. Man United now feels Sancho is closer. As I was going on in the stream earlier about Jan Eger Fjortoft, and I've really got to stop doing it. Jan Eger Fjortoft, his update saying closer. What was that to do with? I think this is what it was to do with. Now, a couple of points to make here about this. Number one, Manchester United reached an agreement with Jadon Sancho on personal terms last summer. So in that sense, we're not further ahead than we were last year in the idea that we probably just offered him the same wages we offered him last year. That's absolutely fine. But the fact that it's done now, early, sweet, 10th of June, bang, that's good news. And Jadon Sancho, as Fabrizio's saying there, he's not creating any problem. He's not posturing for more money. He's not trying to squeeze. He wants to move. He's like, cool, I agreed to it last summer. I agreed to it this summer. And that is a big step. Now, the important development here is that negotiations are now starting with Borussia Dortmund. Because I don't only find it weird now that modern day transfers, it's the flip reverse. Instead of agreeing a price with the club and then speaking to the player about negotiations, it was always called tapping up before, but now it just seems like it's the way that transfers are done. You agree personal terms with the player before you approach the club. It's a bit weird. It's a bit backwards. I'm not really sure I like it, but that's just the way it is. But negotiations are now starting, and the price is 95 million euros. That's 25 million cheaper than last summer, and more towards what United were offering last summer. So I don't really see this being a situation at all. I see this as being something that can develop quite quickly. 95 million euros is going to be something that United can agree with in a relatively straightforward and quick sense. And that's quite exciting. And now a lot of you in the comments I can see there, you're like, mate, this isn't an update. We agreed terms with him last summer. Yeah, cool, that was last summer. This is this summer. A new contract there until 2026. Things have changed. The price has changed, more importantly. And that really is the most important single thing in this whole situation. And the rise of Erling Haaland. Because last year, Jadon Sancho was the golden boy of Borussia Dortmund. He's not the golden boy anymore. Erling Haaland is the golden boy, maybe of European football, just behind Kylian Mbappe. And because of that, Dortmund's focus this summer is holding on to Haaland. And they can certainly let Jadon Sancho go if they want to, and the right price comes in. And that is where United need to swoop. 95 million, that's a price that we would have paid last summer. That's a price we tried to pay last summer. That's a price that we need to pay this summer. Do it, get it done. At this point, it really is very straightforward. And United wouldn't go back in for Jadon Sancho this summer if we weren't serious about signing him. And therefore, the idea of paying 95 million euros, it's a very straightforward and easy thing to do. Let's see what else the Manchester Evening News is doing as an update on that as well. It said Manchester United remain in talks with Borussia Dortmund over the possible signing of Jadon Sancho this summer, but any breakthrough in regards to completing a transfer still isn't believed to be imminent. Now, I've said that already. I've already said that I don't think United will get Sancho over the line before the Euros. My gut told me that at the start of the week. My gut's not really proved me wrong. And I think you all probably thought the same thing. Look, if we've been negotiating with Sancho for over a year now, why would we all of a sudden, within a week, be able to agree personal terms with him, agree a deal with Borussia Dortmund and get the transfer over the line? That wasn't really going to ever happen. And the fact that personal terms are agreed, it doesn't surprise me. Jadon Sancho wanted that move last summer. I personally think that, I mean, I can't prove it, but his dip at the start of the season, I think he was a little bit disappointed that he wasn't a Manchester United player, that he was still at Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, he refound his form as the season went on and he got better and better and better. And that's why he's in such great form going into the Euros. But Sancho wanted to join United and he still wants to join United. That's why personal terms are not an issue. He's like, look, man, we agreed last summer. Done. Move on. Just agree that fee with Dortmund. And he must be getting annoyed. He must really be getting annoyed, and just to hopefully get this over the line. Let's have a look. Anthony, stop talking bollocks. All this was said last year. We haven't even spoken to Dortmund yet. I mean, it's quite literally right there from Fabrizio. Negotiations now starting with Borussia Dortmund there, Anthony. So I think you might be misreading that, my friend. We did agree last year. Cool. We've now agreed this year. And the price is lower. And that's the most important part of all of this. That and the fact that, as I said, that Sancho isn't the crown jewel of Borussia Dortmund anymore. Last year, the only reason that Sancho was going to leave Dortmund is if an offer came in that was quite literally impossible to refuse. And they've set that fee at 120 million euros. And United didn't want to pay it. But this summer, 95 million euros is that price. And as I see in a couple of comments below there, if we're willing to pay 80 million pounds for Harry Maguire, then surely 95 million euros for Jadon Sancho is more than reasonable. Make sure you get your comments in. Make sure you get your super chats in if you've got anything you really want to ask me. But I'm happy with it. I'll be honest. I'm happy with the update there from Fabrizio, the man himself. I hope we can see some developments that can continue. But now the fact that personal terms are agreed, I'm not really sure what else can happen really before the Euros. Let's see what else is being said over on the Twitterati. Let's have a look. What's this saying? Manchester United are ready to increase their offer to Borussia Dortmund. Oh, that's a crap update. Build. As if Build is saying that. Let's have a look. Build is saying that Man United have made the first bid for Jadon Sancho of around 70 million euros. Oh, we're taking the piss, aren't we? That is too low for Borussia Dortmund, who will let Sancho leave the club for a fee of 90 million, excluding bonus payments. So if you're looking at 95 million being the overall fee there, then maybe the 5 million would be bonus payments. I don't know, but 70 million. Come on, man. United taking the piss. That's probably what Dortmund is trying to think. I don't know. Look, I've said this before. I said that I feel John Murtough's arrival at the club, if that really is to be an actual appointment which helps United in any way, shape or form, then things like this need to happen far, far quicker, far more precise and direct. 70 million, cool. Go in low. Don't want it, boom. Go straight back up towards 90. It's a negotiation game. It's like going to buy a car. You don't really want to pay the price that's on the tag. You want to get a little bit cheaper. That's just kind of standard negotiation. 70 is a bit, you're kind of taking the piss considering they wanted 120 million for him last summer. But the fact that we're started the negotiations for me is a major update. I was getting frustrated the fact that we were just getting linked with personal terms here, personal terms there. The personal terms were never really going to be a problem. I never thought. And that's exactly what Fabrizio Romano has said. The agreement's already done. Personal terms, sweet. Until 2026. I want to be a United player. I'm not going to stand in the way. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Let's see what else is going on the Twitterati. And absolutely nothing. Let me read some of your comments off now, as I always do. 70 million in this climate is correct. That's pounds. They're not euros. Okay. You let me know in the comments now. How much do you think is a fair price for Sancho this summer? Do you think the 95 million euros that Dortmund are asking for, is that an unreasonable amount of money? Or do you think that's how much Sancho is worth? Do you agree with Billy there that 70 million pounds would be a fair price for Sancho? Or do you think that Dortmund are fair to ask for 95 million euros? In my opinion, I thought 120 million last summer was slightly overpriced, but that was a representation of the fact that Dortmund didn't really want to sell Sancho. But if 120 million came in, they would take it because it was an excessive amount of money. This summer, I think 90 to 95 is probably a fair price for him. Bearing in mind that that won't be 95 million up front. That's probably going to be 85 to 90 million up front, maybe with 5 million add-on. I don't know how the add-ons work. The add-ons were almost becoming a bit of a parody last summer in terms of how United were structuring that deal. I hope this summer it won't be as complicated. And the fact that Ed Woodward is not the man at the helm of it, that's a good thing. Matt Judge is still the, I don't know what his title is, but it's something to do with transfers. But the fact that he now reports to John Murtough instead of Ed Woodward, and he's actually a football man, I like to think that things will go a little bit better for United. Let's read what price you think. You're only there saying 70 million. You think that's fair. Adib, you're on Facebook. You're saying 80 million plus add on a loan for Ahmad. I don't think anyone's going to really loan Ahmad out. Don't think so. 85 million pounds is fair, says Sam. Great name. Sean, you're saying the fair price is 95 million euros. Richard Kelly over on Facebook, 80 million. You're saying. Sam Dawson, you're saying 85 million pounds plus bonuses. It seems it's going to be there or thereabouts. What, 70 million is 81 euros. I don't know what the exchange rate is these days. But I'm just happy that the terms are agreed. I'm just happy that that can get parked and that United can actually negotiate with Dortmund, because let's be honest, that was the thing that was the problem last summer. That was the thing that we fell down on. We didn't fall down on the terms being agreed. That was a sort of effectively a formality this summer, getting these personal terms agreed. But now that that's done, United can focus on the negotiations with Dortmund. And as I said, there's two major factors that I think give United a more of an advantage this summer than last summer. Number one, Jadon isn't as valuable to Dortmund. Erling Haaland is their golden boy now. He's the player that they will not let go for anything less than a ridiculous amount of money this summer. I don't think anyone's going to pay it. And number two, Jadon's actually worth less. His value has gone down. The coronavirus market, it's made it more difficult in football, X, Y, Z. But I think that there's probably going to be a big debate on Twitter, or a big debate anywhere, really. This is not a major update, that this is exactly the same situation as last summer. United have just got to pay the money. Yes, United have got to pay the money, but I think the situation has changed more towards an advantage for United. I think Dortmund have lost a little bit of their negotiation power that they had last summer, where they really didn't have to sell him apart from an excessive amount of money. I think, is it next year, Jadon Sancho's contract runs out, the year after? So the time's running out for them. So let me know in the comments below if there's anything else you want me to talk about in this video. Make sure you get your super chats in. I like answering the super chats. Let's head over to Twitter and see if anything else is going on in the world since I've started this conversation. Not really by the looks of it. That's a good thing. Man United sources remain tight-lipped on the suggestion that any deal for Jadon Sancho is getting closer, though they view a possible deal more likely this summer than it was a year ago. That's Manchester Evening News. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what I just said there. I feel that it's far more likely this summer than it was last summer. Last summer was a bit of a pipe dream because pipe dream's a bit wrong. We were definitely in for Sancho, but this is United. We don't really spend by comparison of our rivals. So the fact that we were squeezing the pennies, it wasn't really too much of a surprise. And I kind of expect it to happen again this summer. I don't think we'll go in straight away with 95. And the fact that, I suppose the fact that the Euros are going on shouldn't really change anything when it comes to United dealing with Dortmund, because they're two clubs that we've got nothing to do. They're just two domestic clubs. The fact that we've agreed terms with Sancho, that's the important bit before the Euros, because he's going to be the one that's gone away. He's done his part before the Euros have begun. So it's now down to United and Dortmund to simply negotiate together. And they're not in the Euros. So why can't it happen during the Euros? Maybe it will happen during the Euros. Although I think that would be quite unfair on Jadon Sancho, wouldn't it? To actually try and announce a deal for him to move while he's in the middle of an international tournament. I don't think that would be very nice to him. Let's see. Look, Aziz, I agree with you here. Better spend the money on a defender and a central defensive midfielder, but United clearly disagree. I mean, my God, I hope we sign one. Laura Anderson, how you doing, Laura? Very frustrating. Just make the bid and get the deal done. Always so much speculation. I mean, it's true. It is very frustrating, but this is what happens when you're Manchester United and you're trying to sign a player. Certainly with Sancho anyway. Christ, this is getting towards Schneider levels of saga, really, isn't it? Watching from Italy, says Mustafa. Hello from Italy. Let's have a look through some more of these comments. Nermin, so there we go. He's saying we'll probably buy Sancho, but he is second or third priority. We need Varane and Kane more than Sancho. Okay, that's an interesting one there. If you could sign one of the two, Kane or Sancho, who are you going for? Let me know in the comments now. Just type Kane or Sancho, and I'll see what you're saying. Got Talking with H watching from Birmingham. How you doing, buddy? Ross Hood, well, he disagrees. We don't need Kane. Overrated diving. And so, I mean, yeah, he does like to go down and does like to exaggerate his falls, doesn't he? But let's be honest, he's the best striker in the Premier League and has been the best striker in the Premier League for a long, long time. I think, anyway. You might disagree with me on that one, but he's fantastic. Jadon Sancho, I just want you to be wearing a United shirt, man. Can you not just wear a United shirt? Hurry up. Right, let's read some of your comments out here whilst looking. I don't need that back. Go back to that one. Thank you. Sancho, that is a bigger gap in the squad than Kane would fill. I think you're right there, Asbjorn. I hope I pronounced that right. I think right wing is a bigger problem than a striker, if I'm being completely honest. Tobias, Sean, Michael, Zane. Oh, Sam, how you doing? All of you saying Sancho. Anybody saying Kane? Let's have a look. Not really. Oh, no, there's one there. There's a couple of guys saying Kane, a couple of guys and girls. But Andy D, you're over on Facebook. You're watching, saying Kane. The majority of you are saying Sancho, and I completely agree with you. But going back to the big update there, which is an important update, and I want to reiterate that before I finish today. Yes, we agreed personal terms with Sancho last summer. And yes, in that sense, we're not any further ahead. But it's done now, before the Euros. United are in negotiations with Dortmund for Sancho. You've got Bild here saying in Germany, saying that United have had a first bid of 70 million rejected for Sancho. 70 million seems very low. I'd kind of be surprised if United went in that low, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised because this is what United do. Let's see what happens there, but the negotiations are underway. That's an important factor. The personal terms were never going to be a problem. We agreed on last summer, we've agreed on this summer, but it's done before the Euros. Let's see what happens now during the Euros, because I don't really think that it should be an issue, United and Dortmund having these conversations whilst the Euros are going on. Let's see what happens there. Maybe Dortmund are going to stall and delay in the hope that Sancho plays very well at the Euros, which therefore increases his value. In fact, I guarantee you that is what Dortmund are going to be doing. So maybe if there's any delay in this, it's going to be Dortmund holding back rather than United. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. It's over 1,000 of you watching at the moment. Make sure you subscribe to United People's TV. I'm going to be doing all these lives throughout the entire summer. Every morning, Monday to Friday, between 9:30 and 9:45, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. It's a great community. I love the comments. I love answering your questions and your super chats. I'll be back with any more major updates as and when they happen throughout this whole window. So make sure, as I said, you subscribe down below. But the big update there from Fabrizio Romano is that negotiations are now underway because personal terms are being agreed like last summer. But United, let's get this deal done and over the line so we can actually focus on getting a defensive midfielder, which is a bigger priority, in my opinion. And I'll be honest, it's the opinion of the majority of you as well. But thanks for joining in. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your comments. And make sure you subscribe. Till the next big update, take it easy.